Hey, welcome back to another episode of for caskrabbits. Today we're doing something a little different. I have a friend of mine that gave me a sample of Knob Creek rye, the basic rye, and he said, "Can you please do a video on this because it's horrible." So we'll see if it's truly horrible or not. And then he also gave me a sample of rare breed, which is usually really good. So today we're kind of going to do rare breed, uh, which is from Wild Turkey. And I usually really enjoy Rare Breed. It's a great bottle for about $50. And then we have Knob Creek Rye, which I think is cheaper. It's probably like $25, $30. And we'll see if it's really awful. I'm very curious because I should have got it out earlier, but I do have a Knob Creek Rye here for the 10-year. And I actually found this bottle to be excellent. And plus I got it at a super deal in Prescott, and that was really incredible. And I even bought a backup. I liked it so much. So I'm really curious to see what this is. So let's take a look. So we'll start with the KB Rye and see if maybe it was a bad bottle. Not a lot of smells, honestly. Okay, a little spice, a little cinnamon on the nose. You smell that? Let's go down the hatch. Oh, it's not that it. Okay. So what that reminds me of, it has notes of apples and actually kind of tastes like a spicy Calvados. If you've ever had Calvados, it's from Normandy. It's a liqueur that's made out of apples. It's like a brandy almost. It's usually about 40% alcohol or so. Some of them are cask strength if you get it from a farmer. Uh, Good stuff. This is not as, I tried this the other day just a second and this really tasted horrible, but this is not as bad as I remember. Let's go to the rare breed from the turkey. Mm. So on the rare breed, not as spicy. Um, you taste it tastes more bourbony, almost more like rye like, more sugar, more complex, viscous kind of a taste. Let's re-smell the nose. You do get some notes of apples also on the rare breed on the nose. But what's funny is that this is better put together. You guys will hear me say that a lot, where it's just more balanced and smoother. I can't remember. I think this is a little proof. This is probably 100 or less. This seems to be, I don't know, a little bit stronger, but maybe it's just because it's thicker. Sometimes it does that for me. Definitely like the rare breed. That I can sip on for quite a while. It's really good. All right, let's go back to the Knob Creek Rye. Maybe it's settled a little bit in the glass. Hmm. Yeah, the nose is not horrible. After drinking, one thing I've learned from the other influencers sometimes is when you go to the third or fourth pour, the drink does change. So that first pour is always kind of harsh and feels a little overwhelming. But you get to the third or fourth, and you're like, okay, I'm starting to see the more nuances. You get more notes. Yeah, it's just not very good. It's just too spicy, is what it is. Too much spice. You know what would help this is probably a little bit of agua. I usually don't like to drink neat, but I can feel like this is even burning my right here, my throat, and just down here. And then we go back to the rare breed. Okay. Yeah, it's just smoother, much smoother drink. So my conclusion here is this: I would skip this. I don't think you need the basic Knot Creek rye. Rare breed, I think it's $50. Great bottle, you can never miss. It's kind of like, it's funny because like the Knob Creek 12, everybody talks about, that doesn't miss. I actually think the Knob Creek 10 is great. For other ryes, I can recommend a couple other things. If you can find this, even store picks, but this was the 10-year. This is one of the best rye I've ever had. Wonderful. And I discovered these guys the other day. Corbin and Cash, really, really good. Great bottle. It's a Mercedes rye, so it's a little bit different in terms of the grain. And then, in rye, of course, this is always a super duper value, but you may not always want to be drinking 130. And they also have a regular rye, like they have the regular greener bottle. Um, Recently, and I talked about this in another video, I'll show you a couple more bottles and then that I think are worth grabbing if you can. This is the Old Overholt 12 year. Hard to find, but if you see one, you should buy. That's an insta buy. And then this is a recent release, the Smoky Hill Barrel Proof. I think this is just as good as its brother, the Blue Bottle, which is not a rye, but I think they make both excellent products. Okay, well, that being said, thank you for joining me today on this episode, and we'll see you next time. Take care.